King Charles refuses to end Prince Harry's dream of a half-in, half-out return to royal life.
All right, let's just call it what it is. It's January 20th, 2026, and if you had Harry and Meghan crawling back to the UK on your bingo card for this year, go ahead and collect your winnings, because it is happening in real time.
Numerous massive crises of confidence for Harry, because he realizes, holy shit, this is what I'm facing.
Let's be honest for a second. When Meghan Markle and Prince Harry basically did that royal jailbreak back in 2020, they framed it like the ultimate liberation. They told us they just wanted privacy. They wanted to protect their peace. And look, at the time, a lot of people were rooting for them. It felt like a movie, right? The rebel prince saves the Hollywood Duchess from the stuffy gray walls of the palace. They headed for the California sun, signed Netflix deals worth enough to buy a small country, and started a podcast about it. Well, let's be real. It was mostly about themselves. Freedom looked incredible at first. We're talking palm trees, red carpets, and having Oprah on speed dial. It was the new era of independence.
This guy's a threat to himself because, I mean, the entire saga of Prince Harry is quite depressing, really, because I remember when he was a bit of the nation's lad, he was happy, he was a bit happy-go-lucky and all that, and then he met that woman, and it all went downhill. Yeah, it's sad, really.
But fast forward to right now, early 2026, and that independence is starting to look a lot more like a public relations internship gone horribly wrong. Here's the thing that nobody in their camp wants to admit. The palace didn't exile them. They exiled themselves. And now, like a bad Netflix sequel that literally nobody asked for, they are trying to crawl back. The same couple who spent years throwing shade across the Atlantic, interviews, books, documentaries, you name it, are suddenly craving that good old British spotlight again. And it's not because they're feeling nostalgic for rainy London or tea with the king, it's for relevance. Their Hollywood dream didn't just fade, it did a slow motion slide into the maybe later pile. The Spotify deal vanished faster than Meghan's fake British accent. The Netflix buzz has cooled to a lukewarm simmer. Even US audiences who were obsessed with them for 5 minutes have started swiping left on the royal drama.
We knew this day was coming. We knew that he was going to want to leave and to have his life back. We knew that that freedom flight was nothing but a fraud of a flight that he was taking. And so now Harry has confirmed that, hey, I want to go back.
So what do you do when America is over you? Simple. You go back to the one place guaranteed to make headlines, the UK. But this isn't a homecoming, this is damage control in designer clothes. Because for all the talk about breaking free, they are learning a brutal truth in 2026. You can leave the crown behind, but you can't leave the need for attention. And that, guys, is exactly where the real story begins. When Harry and Meghan packed those royal bags, they weren't just dragging luggage out of the palace. They were dragging centuries of drama, privilege, and expectations. When that announcement hit like a thunderclap, we're stepping back, the translation was crystal clear to anyone with a brain. It was, we're done playing royal Monopoly. We want our own board. At first, it looked revolutionary. The press called it Megxit, but to them, it was liberation. No more royal duties, no more stiff upper lip, no more palace politics. California sun over Buckingham clouds. Sounds poetic, right? Except real life doesn't come with a Netflix filter and a 24/7 lighting crew. Because once the novelty of seeing them at a Lakers game or a gala faded, reality started knocking. And it wasn't holding flowers, it was holding invoices.
You're absolute liars. You don't want anything to do with these charitable causes because the only charity you give a damn about is feathering your own nest. Oh, and destroying the British royal family too. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. These two are grifters who are all about the money, who had the biggest opportunity in the world to turn around other people's lives, and they do not give a damn.
Independence, as it turns out, comes with a massive price tag. Security details, mansions, the lifestyle they think they deserve, that stuff isn't cheap. And suddenly, the same media they claimed to be escaping became their actual lifeline. They didn't just want attention, they depended on it. Every headline, every whisper, every staged photo op was oxygen for a brand that was built entirely on rebellion. The world saw a love story against the crown, but behind the scenes, something was breaking. The illusion that you can walk away from an empire and stay just as powerful was shattering. Freedom was supposed to set them free. Instead, it set them adrift in a sea of who are they again? When they touched down in California, they didn't just cross an ocean, they crossed into a fantasy. This is the land of opportunity, where fame is the only currency that matters, and reinvention is a professional sport. Hollywood rolled out the red carpet for them for about 5 minutes. Then Hollywood did what Hollywood does. It quietly rolled that carpet back up when the ratings started to dip. At first, the power moves were flawless. Netflix deals? Check. Spotify partnerships? Check. Magazine covers where they looked like media moguls? Check. They went from Buckingham Palace to Beverly Hills. But here's the twist. In Hollywood, everyone is a star until the data says they aren't. And when the spotlight dimmed, they learned the harsh truth: fame without the crown is just noise.
The only reason he wants to come here, and everyone needs to realize this, is because his career has collapsed in the United States of America. Meghan Markle's dream of becoming a Hollywood billionaire in America has collapsed. It's over. The staff are leaving. The rats are abandoning this sinking ship.
The Netflix series, overhyped. The Spotify podcast, canceled faster than a bad sitcom. Even that Oprah interview that once shook the world started aging like milk in the California heat. Because Hollywood loves a story, but it hates a repeat. And Harry and Meghan only had one story to tell. The palace was mean to us. Once you've told that story 10 times, people stop clicking. Their image machine ran on controversy, but eventually, even drama stops trending. Behind the smiles and those sun-kissed PR shots, the empire they built started to crack. Not because of some big scandal, but because of silence. They left the palace to control their narrative. But now, in 2026, the narrative is controlling them. As the Hollywood dream flickered, one thing became painfully clear. They didn't escape the system. They just switched stages. And the new stage is much harder to please. America fell for them fast. I mean, we love a rebel, but fascination has an expiration date, and theirs came way quicker than expected. What started as admiration slowly turned into absolute exhaustion. The public that once cheered their every move started side-eyeing the endless interviews. The story stopped sounding brave and started sounding rehearsed. See, in the US, fame doesn't age gracefully. It feeds on novelty. When your drama becomes predictable, the algorithm just moves on. Talk shows turn their compassion into punchlines. Late night hosts, the same ones who used to invite them on, started cracking jokes that would have caused outrage in 2021. Now, nobody even blinks. Their approval ratings in 2025 and early 2026 have been sliding. Headlines grew colder. Even their most loyal fan base started muting the noise. Even Hollywood, that machine that is always hungry for relevance, has started to lose interest.
Charles needs to wake up, because what he's also doing, of course, is damning William to having his younger brother running a rival royal court in the United Kingdom. Because what else does he have to do, Lauren? That's the other issue here. Harry has nothing going for him in America. He has no work over there. He has no meaningful charity over there. His marriage is completely miserable. He is totally miserable. So unfortunately, this security decision means we will be seeing a hell of a lot of Harry in the United Kingdom. That is bad news for Prince William, who is trying to protect him.
Meghan's lifestyle brand ventures, like As Ever, have been hit with delay after delay. And Harry's spiritual healing narrative, it's starting to feel like a lost script rather than a mission. That is the cruel paradox of modern fame. The same attention that builds you is the same attention that will eventually bury you. When the American spotlight dimmed, they had two choices: fade away quietly into a private life, which is what they said they wanted, or chase the only place guaranteed to keep them relevant. And we all know which one they chose. This brings us to the present, the comeback plan. On the surface, Harry's current fight for police protection in the UK looks like a simple security request, but if you peel back the legal paperwork, you find something much more revealing. This isn't a struggle for safety, it's a struggle for status. This case isn't just about bodyguards, it's about belonging. It's about a prince trying to prove he still matters in a world that has quietly moved on without him. You don't sue the British government just to feel safe. You have enough money to hire private security, Harry. You do it to remind everyone that you are still royal enough to deserve government-funded protection. It's about the perks. It's about the identity. The man who walked away from the institution is now literally begging for the benefits that come with it. It's less about legal rights and more about lost ego. Every headline from that courtroom this week has echoed louder than any Netflix scene. It isn't Prince Harry versus the UK, it's Prince Harry versus irrelevance. Because stepping back might have freed him from the royal machine, but it also unplugged him from the power source that made him significant in the first place.
Unbelievably just crazy to me, because that's what's going to happen. He's going to get the security, be in the UK the majority of the time, and then when they go back every once in a while to the States, they have security that's paid by the taxpayers in the UK, and it's exactly what he wanted. I think this was very intentional to do just that, to have this special security the way they originally wanted it.
Meghan knows the optics too. This lawsuit is a public plea for validation. Winning would mean they are still official. Losing would mean they are just celebrities. And in 2026, being just a celebrity isn't enough for them. Now, when the noise around them gets too toxic, they always have one card to play: Invictus. And look, credit where it's due. The Invictus games are incredible. The work Harry does there is his best work. But notice how the spotlight always shifts there right when the lawsuits or the family feuds get too loud. It's a masterstroke of timing. It's a cause so noble that even the biggest critics have to pause. Invictus gives Harry something Hollywood couldn't: purpose with a halo. It's his emotional fortress. Cameras follow, stories soften, and public sympathy starts trickling back. For a moment, the coverage isn't about the drama, it's about service. But make no mistake, it also serves as the perfect smokescreen. Behind the handshakes and the speeches, there's a quieter narrative. This is about visibility. It's about reclaiming a platform that doesn't rely on gossip. The games let Harry stand tall as a leader again, not just a headline. And Meghan, she's mastered the supporting role. Polished, poised, and strategically subtle. They reframed their image without ever actually addressing the elephant in the room. But while Invictus buys them credibility, it can't buy back control of the family dynamic. The applause is real, but it's temporary.
Meghan Markle's insane demands to enter the disunited kingdom have been revealed. We don't want you, love! So making all of these demands, which we are going to have to pay for, is not going to go down well. Seriously. I mean, the types of things she's asking for are nuts.
In the shadows of that success, a different motive is forming, and that motive has everything to do with momentum. For a couple that supposedly wanted nothing to do with the monarchy, they sure do love the branding. Duke and Duchess. Those two words open doors faster than any Netflix contract ever could. In California, those titles are conversation starters. In Britain, they are currency. As they tiptoe back into the UK spotlight this year, it's becoming clear. The titles they treated like baggage in 2020 have become their biggest business assets in 2026. The irony is incredible. The institution they claim to outgrow is the only thing keeping their brand alive. Without the royal connection, what are they? They're just another celebrity couple in a sea of influencers. But attach a crown to that name, and suddenly every appearance is royal. They aren't selling rebellion anymore. They are selling proximity to power. Even as they insist they've moved on, every photo shoot and every headline still whispers those titles. They aren't chasing heritage. They are chasing leverage. Because in the game of global image, crowns aren't just worn. They are monetized. And the second those titles lose their shine, the Sussex empire goes dark. While Harry and Meghan have been busy orchestrating this grand re-entry, the palace has been doing what it does best, saying absolutely nothing. The royal family doesn't fight with words. They fight with timing and silence. And right now, that silence is deafening. Every statement from the firm is perfectly measured, neutral on paper, but nuclear in effect. They don't clap back, they just erase. No mentions, no invitations, no public warmth. It's the polite freeze out. It's not hostility, it's humiliation by omission.
I mean, as we revealed earlier in the week, he has now hired one of the country's most experienced crisis management PRs to work within his team at Kensington Palace day to day, because it shows you what he's expecting. He is expecting Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to set up a rival royal court, and thank God actually that he is preparing to fight fire with fire, because he knows that the future of the British royal family is at stake. And that's why I'm so disgusted, and I'm going to be honest with Charles and with the British government, because they should have just rejected Harry's security demands. They are ludicrous demands. He was always warned of the consequences.
Behind the scenes, the palace is playing long game chess. While the Sussexes chase attention, the institution simply absorbs it. They remind the world who really owns the narrative just by showing up to work. The public sees the contrast. Duty versus drama, composure versus chaos. Every unspoken move by the royals reinforces the idea that the monarchy's power isn't in noise, it's in endurance. While Harry and Meghan strategize with PR consultants, the palace just waits. They are patient. They know that in the royal game, silence isn't weakness. It's checkmate in slow motion. But wait, just when you thought the story was settled, the plot thickens. And I mean thickens. Just as the spotlight was starting to cool on Meghan's side of the royal rift, someone from her own bloodline decided to light the fuse again. We're talking about Samantha Markle. Now look, we've heard from the Markle family before, but the claims coming out of the legal appeal in 2026 are on a whole different level. We are talking about shocking allegations regarding the family narrative, claims about DNA, heritage, and the kind of secrets that make Buckingham Palace gossip look like a Sunday school lesson. There is a story breaking right now that threatens to flip everything you thought you knew about Meghan's origin story upside down. It's the kind of twist that even a Hollywood screenwriter would think is too much. Allegations that, if proven, could change the way the public views the entire Sussex narrative. If you haven't seen the latest filings from this week, you need to. It's messy, it's personal, and it's the one thing the Sussex PR team can't seem to silence. Trust me, after this, you will never look at this family dynamic the same way again. So, where does that leave us? When you strip away the designer clothes, the PR spin, and the palace whispers, what's left isn't a revolution, it's a reality check. This return to the UK isn't about reconnection, it's about reconstruction. Harry and Meghan aren't rewriting their story, they are trying to rescue it. In a world where relevance is rented, not owned, even royalty has to fight to stay on your feet. They traded a cage of gold for a cage of glass, and now they're realizing everyone is watching the cracks form. This is Star Spotlight. The truth always burns brighter than the crown. Before you go, let me know in the comments. Do you think the UK will ever actually take them back? Or is the Sussex brand officially past its expiration date? Subscribe, stay curious, and remember, in the world of fame, no secret stays buried for long. Catch you in the next one.